You will earn the respect of all if you begin by earning the respect of yourself. Don't expect to encourage good deeds in people conscious of your own misdeeds. If we were to measure what is good by how much pleasure it brings, nothing would be better than self-control. If we were to measure what is to be avoided by its pain, nothing would be more painful than lack of self-control. If you accomplish something good with hard work, the labor passes quickly, but the good endures. If you do something shameful in pursuit of pleasure, the pleasure passes quickly, but the shame endures. Why do we criticize tyrants, when in fact we are much worse than they are? We have the same inclinations as they do. We just lack opportunities to act on them. Humanity must seek what is not simple and obvious, using the simple and obvious. We will train both soul and body when we accustom ourselves to cold, heat, thirst, hunger, scarcity of food, hardness of bed, abstaining from pleasures, and enduring pains. Don't expect to tell others what they should do when they know that you do what you shouldn't. What good are gilded rooms or precious stones fitted on the floor, inlaid in the walls, carried from great distances at the greatest expense? These things are pointless and unnecessary. Without them, isn't it possible to live healthy? Aren't they the source of constant trouble? Don't they cost vast sums of money that, through public and private charity, may have benefited many? Wealth is able to buy the pleasures of eating, drinking, and other sensual pursuits, yet can never afford a cheerful spirit or freedom from sorrow. We begin to lose our hesitation to do immoral things when we lose our hesitation to speak of them. The person who is practicing to become a philosopher must seek to overcome himself, so that he won't welcome pleasure and avoid pain, so that he won't love living and fear death, and so that in the case of money, he won't honor receiving over giving. Only by exhibiting actions in harmony with the sound words which he has received will anyone be helped by philosophy. Won't we, therefore, be willing to endure pain in order to gain complete happiness? The person who claims to be studying philosophy must practice it even more diligently than the person who aspires to the art of medicine or some similar skill, inasmuch as philosophy is more important and harder to grasp than any other pursuit. Husband and wife should come together to craft a shared life, procreating children, seeing all things as shared between them with nothing withheld or private to one another, not even their bodies. In marriage there must be above all perfect companionship and mutual love, both in sickness, health, and under all conditions. It should be with desire for this and children that both entered upon marriage. Just as plants receive nourishment for survival, not pleasure as for humans, food is the medicine of life. Therefore, it is appropriate for us to eat for living, not pleasure, especially if we want to follow the wise words of Socrates, who said most men live to eat, but I eat to live. The greatest admiration yields silence rather than words. It is appropriate for him, if he really is a philosopher, to be wise, self-controlled, magnanimous, a judge of just and proper things, able to accomplish what he sets out to do, and able to endure pain. In addition to these things, he should be bold, fearless, able to face things that seem terrible, and also a benefactor, honest, and humane. For obviously the philosopher's body should be well prepared for physical activity, because often the virtues make use of this as a necessary instrument for the affairs of life. Isn't it more in accordance with nature to be nourished from the earth, which is both our nurse and mother, than from some other source? Isn't living in the country more suitable for a man than sitting in the city like the sophists? Isn't living outside healthier than being secluded in the shade? What is more characteristic of a free person than that he provide necessities for himself, rather than receive them from others? The courageous, in exile or at home, is fearless in the face of all such threats. For that reason, they've the courage to say what they think equally, at home or in exile. Most of all, teachers shouldn't only be speakers of helpful words, but their actions should be consistent with them. It is useful to recall what hardships people will endure for immoral reasons. Consider what lustful lovers undergo for the sake of evil desires, how much exertion others expend for the sake of profit, and how much suffering there is in the pursuit of fame. Bear in mind that they all submit to all kinds of toil and hardship voluntarily. It's monstrous that they endure such things for no honorable reward, yet for the sake of the good, we're not ready to bear the slightest hardship. Just as there is no use in medical study unless it leads to the health of the human body, so there is no use to a philosophical doctrine unless it leads to the virtue of the human soul. The home or the city doesn't depend on women or men alone, but on their union with each other. I find no other association more necessary or more pleasant than that of men and women. For what man is as devoted to his friend as much as a loving wife is to her husband? What brother to a brother? What son to his parents? Who is as longed for as a husband by his wife, or a wife by her husband when the other is away? Who would do more to lighten grief or increase joy or correct misfortune? Who judges everything to be shed body, soul, and possessions except man and wife?